I'm about to spend $100 on the weirdest, strangest, and all-round most bizarre games on Steam. And then I'm going to play them and rank them for you by weirdness. Alright Steam, here I come. Let's see what we can find here. Weird games. This is not exactly what I'm looking for. Turns out there's not really a filter for weird games on Steam. So Google, what are the weirdest games on Steam?
It'll be partly cloudy, with a high of 50 and a low of 36.
Luckily, I found this curator, Weird Games for Your Play. Using his recommendations together with some of other curators I found, I put together a list of 12 of the weirdest games I could find. And let me tell you, there are some weird games on Steam. I don't even know where to start with half of these, so let's start with this. Now that's the controller layout for 30-Second Hero. What are we even looking at here?
What the hell is even that?
It's definitely for people who are bored easily or are on drugs or something. The premise and game mechanics of this are bonkers. How about this? Half-Minute Hero, this is what my ex used to call me. Anxiety, the RPG. The second best 30 seconds of my life. So, you see where this is going. You're an unnamed hero and you have 30 seconds to save the world from certain doom. First time you play this game will almost certainly go something like this. So what do we have here? 20 seconds left, what the heck? There's a village there. Time will almost certainly stop when I enter. Game over. Lucky for us, a benevolent capitalist time goddess decides to rescue us, and she'll turn back time when we perish, if we can pay of course. And that's the short of it. You try to save the world at 30 frantic seconds at a time. Gameplay-wise, battling is done automatically. All you really do is use your items and run away. Which sounds boring, but due to the frantic nature of it all, really isn't. Everything else plays out like a regular RPG. Get items, get gear, level your character till you're strong enough to face the world-ending threat. I've never played anything like this before. 7.5 on the weirdness meter. Next up, not knowing what you're doing. It's never been so much fun. Or this, amazing game. Half the fun is trying to figure out how to pilot the world's most arcane death trap. All of this is true and more. Nauticrawl. I don't know, maybe I just don't know how to say words. This game is fun though, it really speaks to the child in me that wants to push buttons and pull levers. And when the game starts, there are no instructions. All you see is levers, switches, screens, readouts. All you can do is start pushing and pulling and hope for the best. Ooh. Not that one. I think it took me about 20 seconds to see the first game over screen. It's quite an accomplishment. It took me another 10 minutes and 5 more game over screens to get the engine started correctly. What happened is that I kept dying because the battery was draining when the engine wasn't right. It turns out you're in a stolen submarine kind of vehicle, and you, the protagonist, are trying to escape from somewhere. That's all they tell you. You'll have to discover the rest yourself. It's mysterious, tense, and surprisingly interesting. And it makes you feel really smart when you're starting to finally figure out all the right buttons and levers to pull. And then you blow yourself up again, and you start over. Getting good is the order of the day. It certainly isn't easy. Rating 7.5 on the weirdness meter. I looked at some reviews before I bought this game, and they made me both concerned about what I was about to get myself into and laugh at the same time. Let me start with this. The game is the price of a cup of coffee. You really can't go that wrong. Now, let me tell you what Switch and Shoot is all about. You know those idle clicker games? The most useless of all games? That's not this. Even though it might sound like it based on the game mechanic. It's an arcade shooter you play with one button. Basically, and I know this sounds bonkers, you switch directions whenever you shoot. If that sounds confusing, it was to me too. But you'll get used to it in a hurry. Or, you know, you'll die. It plays like the old-time vertical shooters like Raiden or maybe Ikaruga. Enemies, power-ups, weapons all come at you from the top of the screen. But all you can do is switch side to side and shoot, all with the same button. Dodging, shooting, picking up gear, and if you crash or get hit,
Game over, man. Game over.
this is one of those concepts that's easy to explain but hard to master. Ugh, died again. It's very much a high score chase, and there will be lots of dying. I say that a lot. It's good though, so just get it, it won't disappoint you. 7.7 on the weirdness meter. Deep Sixth. This sounds like something that would happen in an adult entertainment movie. Not that I would know, of course, but I assure you, this is a respectable game. Well, kind of. If Switch and Shoot had the simplest game mechanics, Deep Six possibly has the most complicated. There's literally an in-game manual that you have to reference every time something goes wrong, which happens a lot. And you know the craziest of all? It's actually kind of fun, in a frantic kind of way. You wake up on a spaceship. We somehow find ourselves in these kind of situations a lot. As it turns out, you're serving a sentence, and you're paying off your debt to society by doing missions. Stuff like surveying a region in space, or taking pictures of a space monster, or maybe flying into a black hole. Innocent stuff like that. You do this all in a spaceship seemingly designed by a toddler, meaning it breaks down constantly, and you get to figure out how to fix it, usually in the most inopportune moments. Take this example. I'm supposed to call this one type of space monster, so I track it down and I'm happily shooting at it with my laser, when suddenly the laser goes down. Crap! Quickly, I pull out the manual. Lasers. A section on laser misalignment. Worth a try. I try to realign the laser, all the while being under attack. My ship's taking damage, there's steam everywhere, but it works. The laser comes back online and I manage to finish off the monster. But my ship is much worse for wear, as they say. The power in one of the viewing rooms is out, there's a generator issue, all kinds of stuff. While I'm looking through the manual trying to figure some of this stuff out, the baddies show up again. I'm in pretty bad shape, so I tried to warp out, but earlier I'd apparently misaligned my warp cube. So jumping isn't an option until I fix that little problem. Needless to say, I didn't make it out. If you like fixing stuff while under pressure, this is the game for you. 7.9 on the weirdness scale. Alright, what to say about this one? Actually, let me read you some reviews to get in the mood. This one made me chuckle. The monsters can't find girlfriends, and here I am, no girlfriend. Or how about this one? I never thought I could get so emotional about the life of a skeleton family. Last one. Watch monsters have pillow talk. Unholy Heights, as the reviews alluded to, is best described as a landlord simulator. I know this might sound boring, but wait, there's more. You are the devil, and your tenants are monsters. And best of all, you charge them rent. Yeah. Let that sink in for a minute. To keep them happy, you buy them furniture. Skip ropes, because skeletons skip rope. Fans, stuff like that. Sounds easy, you think. Well, it turns out demons and centaurs can't stand each other. Who knew, right? So, don't place them next to each other. Zombies, on the other hand, are gross. Makes sense. And they love cooking. There's a whole social structure in this game. Then, if they don't pay rent, you can evict them. All fun management sim stuff. But you haven't heard the most important part yet. Waves of farmers, read heroes, will assault your village. But if you've been a good landlord to your tenants, they'll fight for you. Different types of monsters have different attack styles. Think melee, ranged, support. So keep this in mind when you let this weak but oh so cute cheapie stay for free in your apartment. Really fun tower defense demon landlord eviction simulator. Rating 8 on the weirdness scale. So I'd actually already heard about this next one and I was low-key kind of excited about it. Well, most of that excitement is gone. Viscera cleanup detail. Cleaning up crime scenes after the mob or Yakuza. Are you kidding me? That sounds freaking awesome. Viscera cleanup detail. I recommend for university students. Reminds them of their future. In the last 20 years, I cleaned more in this game than in real life. 99 out of 10. Or like Skyrim, but with mobs. I couldn't have said it better. This is what happens. You go to a crime scene, pick up body parts, incinerate, repair stuff, sneak away some stuff for yourself. Mop, pick up more body parts, incinerate, mop some more, till it's all spick and span. And that's basically the game. If I'm being honest, to me it's kind of monotonous. Maybe I haven't gotten far enough in the game yet, but also it's strangely satisfying in a weird OCD kind of way. I mean, I hate cleaning. You should see my car. I think maybe something's wrong with me. I have to go see a doctor. We're in the second half of our list now, and we're solidly in weird territory. If you've played Pac-Man and wondered what they could do to take it to the next level, here's your answer. Blood, monsters and gore. That's all it needed. Eatwell is what you get when Pac-Man and the Binding of Isaac have a baby. Now there's a disturbing image, but it is surprisingly engaging. Look at this graphical masterpiece, but it's really fun to play. When you start a level, the race to eat all the blood cells and simultaneously trying not to get killed by the myriad of enemies has begun. Gather items for fun effects and yeah, that's what you do. Oh, did I mention there's a story? A monster from hell has kidnapped your loved one and sucked her blood. I'm just reading what it says, alright? Now it's your job to get her back from hell. This is a real one more time kind of game. And as I've already said a lot in this video, expect to die. Also, the soundtrack's really good actually, listen to this. Reminds me of Duke Nukem or something. And all of that for the price of a coffee. I mean, you really can't go wrong with that. Rating 8.2. Passpartout, the starving artist. Let me tell you, that is an appropriate title. And this is what it's all about. See that beautiful painting over there? I made that. And that probably is also the reason why I wasn't able to get out of the first level, because I suck at painting. I looked up some playthroughs and I saw plenty of people moving on to bigger and better studios, getting rich, doing well, but here I am sitting with my paintings in front of my garage. People really love this game though. Listen to this. Synth didn't like my painting. Being the mature adult I am, I made a painting of Synth's head chopped off. George comes by. Good execution, he says. That's pretty funny. MS Paint story mode. Very true. Though as you probably figured out by now, you're playing as a painter trying to make a living. And if you remember MS Paint, that's basically what you do. There's a brush and spray can, colors in different sizes, and then you just create paintings and display them. Then people come by, they judge you and tell you how bad they are. In my case, that is. And then every once in a while, someone comes by who likes your painting and buys it for a basement price. In games like these, I always wonder how they judge your art. How does the game know it's bad or good? Or is it just random, which would make it a lot less cool, I think. Anyways, so you make some money, but there's also bills to pay. And round you go, just like in real life. I think I'll have to spend some more time with this one to see if I really can make it as an artist. But so far, it's not looking good. See, it can't be that bad, it's already drawing me back in. Weirdness factor, probably an 8.4. I mean, you play as a frog painting out of your garage. Buckle in, ready to crazy town. Listen to this for gameplay mechanics. Fast-paced arcade racer where...
Wait for it. Keep waiting.
You're blindfolded. This is literally what it looks like. There's just a HUD, nothing else. Blind drive. You're gonna wanna play this. So, How does it work? First of all, the game is driven by an insane B-movie style plot that actually makes the whole thing semi-believable. It's kind of a mixture between the original Speed and Die Hard with a Vengeance, the one with Samuel L. Jackson, the best one. Listen to this. You can't stop the car and all you can do is drive by sound. And you do this based on the best sound design I've heard in a game in a long time. So basically, it's the opposite of where the sound is coming from. Also of note is that the acting is surprisingly decent for a game this size. It's all very immersive stuff. More often than not, I found myself closing my eyes and listening to my headphones, dodging and occasionally hitting obstacles left and right. This game was a great surprise. Rating 8.7 for weirdness, in the best possible way. Dungeon Deathball is what you get when you mix dodgeball, monsters, American football and gladiator with a sprinkle of RPG. Yeah, it's the whole thing. You're captives, imprisoned for life, and your only chance of ever getting out is to survive a tournament set up by this guy. The game itself plays as a tactical turn-based strategy. You and your team make moves, then the dungeon obstacles go, and lastly, the monsters. The baddies are nice enough to telegraph their moves ahead of time, so you can take that into account in your strategies. If you played something like Into the Breach, it's very similar to that. This game is not for the faint of heart either. You get hit and you lose a teammate. Lose the whole team and you start from scratch, which I've done a good number of times now. It's quirky, it's fun, it's hard. But if you're into tactical turn-based games, it's a fun little hidden gem. Rating 8.9 on the weirdness scale. On to the second weirdest on the list. If you're tired of always being that ray of light in the dark, I've got the game for you, and you are never going to guess what it is. But let me know in the comments if you did. Rain on your parade. This is a game I can only describe as fun. You're a cloud, yeah, and you complete missions by raining on people, objects, animals, stuff like that. Need a bomb to explode? Just keep people away by raining on them. Clear out a classroom? Rain the students away. Need to grow a park? Well, you get it. This is a really fun casual game in the vein of something like Goose Game. There are optional and hidden missions in each level and it's just fun. It also has a surprisingly high production value. The graphics look very good and everything looks very nice and polished. And it just invites you to explore. Oh, hang on. Needed to rain on a parade. And best of all, it's cheap too. Just 15 bucks. 9 on the weirdness meter. Now, the weirdest game on this list, and possibly the weirdest game I've ever played. And surprisingly, this is a pretty well-known title. Rock of Ages. Nope. Here's what happens. You roll your boulder through a course with the goal of ramming it as hard as you can into the gate of the opponent. The opponent, on the other hand, puts up blockades, weapons, and all kinds of obstacles to stop your boulder from reaching his gate. On the other side, you do the same. You place towers, cows, elephants, but also traps, ballistas, and stuff like that to stop the boulder from the opposition. The first to break through the gate gets to crush the opposing leader under their boulder. That's not even the weirdest thing I've said today. Battle, roll, and build your way through history. Facing off against characters like Leonidas, Leonardo da Vinci, and Napoleon Bonaparte. If you're wondering why, I still don't know. But there is a story of sorts. You play as Sisyphus, the guy who has to roll a boulder uphill for the rest of the time. Well, he's tired of it, as you would. So what he figures is he'll just use that boulder to smash his way free. One thing leads to another, and here we are. However thin or weird the story is, it's shown by some great movie spoofs.
This is
Graphically, this game looks as weird as the gameplay sounds. It uses flat sprites for characters, combined in a 3D world. It all looks very interesting. It definitely deserves to be on number 1, I think. Solid 9.5 on the weirdness meter. And there's also a second and third game in the series, if you're interested. And that was the number 1 on the weird games list. And I know there are some obvious absences from the list, like Katamari and The Binding of Isaac. But I really wanted to give the spotlight to some lesser known games. So, let me know what you think and what I missed. Also, if you're looking for long games, check out this video from last week. It has some amazing 100+ hour single player games that you should really try. Other than that, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.